friends, I'm Amy and this is A-Star Reads and it's time for my November TBR. So I have to warn you in advance, this is gonna be a mess. I'm a mess, everything's a mess. I have not prepared very well for this TBR video, but it's just gotta happen because otherwise it's just not gonna happen. So I am excited about November for one reason, and that is that I don't have a really set TBR. I have been feeling a lot of pressure lately with my channel, and you can probably tell that I haven't been having as much content. And it's not that anybody else is putting pressure on me, it's me. I'm putting pressure on myself, but my desire to actually create hasn't been very strong, which I kind of feel, I don't know, it feels really uncomfortable and I feel bad about it, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to let things go as they are because I have so much going on in my life. School is very busy in a good way, and I've started volunteering. I'm now a recess monitor one day a week at one of the elementary schools. So yes, I do get to wear reflective vest. So a lot of things are going on with my life as I'm becoming a teacher, and I'm just excited about those things, and I'm really focused on that because it's a big passion of mine, and I'm very just looking forward to that. So a lot of my attention has been going to that lately. Then there's also another part of me that the weather's starting to get icky here, which I do like icky weather, but it also, your body kind of goes into hibernation mode, and so my energy levels have been a lot less lately. And then also I just feel like I'm so behind on everything book-wise that it can feel overwhelming, and I don't want to feel that way going into December because I am going to be doing my 12 Days of Christmas Carol Advent Calendar challenges here, and I want to be like ready. I want to be excited. I want to be ready. So that means that in November, I'm just going to try and catch up. And it actually worked out perfectly because Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy is hosting the Knock It Out November readathon, which is basically just trying to fulfill some of the goals that you had set this year and using this month to, you know, informally finish those goals. There are prompts and stuff, but I'm not following that. I'm setting my own goals, and I'm gonna try and read books for those goals. If I don't, I don't. And I do have quite a few obligation reads that I have to get to first. I'm gonna try and work those into this, but I don't know that they're gonna work out well for my goals. So it's kind of a pile of possibilities this month. There are books that I have to read because I have to get things done for Bookstar. That's the main thing. And that's great, but I also want to have options for the other things that I need to do, and I'd like to try and finish some of my goals this year. It might not happen, and that's okay, but I'm gonna tell you about all the books that I'm working on, would like to work on, have high hopes for this month, and we'll see what happens. And if none of it happens, then that's okay, because December is going to be a whole new month and I'm going to be having so much fun. I have a lot of plans for December. It's really going to be fun, and I'm changing things up this year, so I'm super excited about it. And then of course I will get started back with my game next year in the beginning of the year. I don't know that I'm going to change my game all that much because I feel like there's so many spots on the board that I haven't actually had the opportunity to land on very often. So I may not change it much. I may change a couple of prompts here and there, but my board is probably going to stay pretty similar next year. That's kind of my update on what's going on with my channel, with my life, with all the things. And I apologize that I haven't had too much content lately, but it really has been a busy time, and I'm very excited about some of the things I'm working on with school and with becoming a teacher, and so that's just taking priority at the moment, and that's okay. So first, I think I want to go over the obligation reads because there are definitely books that I need to read, and I'd like to talk about those first because those will probably be my priorities this month. The one I'm actively working on at the moment and I'm trying to get through as quickly as possible is Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. So the Bookstar Readalongs is not actually reading the Infernal Devices series. We're reading Mortal Instruments, and we're trying to finish that one up in November. But I had decided, along with a couple other people, including Paige from Paige with Paige, to read this series concurrently as we're reading Mortal Instruments because it was written around the same time as the last 3 books in Mortal Instruments, and there's a lot of overlapping storylines, characters, just little details from one book to the next, and it's really fun to read them at the same time and jump back and forth and be like, oh, that was in this series, or oh, that was in this series. So we've been reading this series in between the other books for Mortal Instruments, and I need to get this one done before I can read City of Lost Souls, which is actually the October book for Bookstar Readalongs, but we don't have our live show until the 11th, which is next Friday, so I have to get this one done before our live show. These ones actually, Mortal Instruments actually read faster, I think, than Clockwork Prince because the print is actually different. This is much smaller print versus the print in this one, even though it looks like a much bigger book. I mean, these ones go so fast, and I know these characters really well. So even though this is a really hefty book, over 500 pages, I think this one will go fast, I hope, because I gotta get it done before next Friday. And this one, I am currently 214 pages in. I actually need to be there by this evening because I've gotten behind on my daily reading. We'll see if it happens. It's a really ugly, blustery day. I'm not going anywhere today, and I don't have too much homework that has to be done today, so I may end up focusing a lot on reading this. Okay, so then, yes, City of Lost Souls. So then after City of Lost Souls, I'll be reading Clockwork Princess, which is the final book in the Infernal Devices series by Cassandra Clare. And these are rereads, the Infernal Devices. So these ones shouldn't take so long because they are rereads for me. And this one's hefty too. Like, these are all really big books. And if I didn't already know that these books read so quickly for me, I would be concerned. Because then I also have to read City of Heavenly Fire. This is the last book in the Mortal Instruments series, and this one's over 700 pages. Here's the thing though, our live show for City of Heavenly Fire is December 9th. So if for whatever reason this one sneaks into December a little bit, or I end up reading most of it in December, I'm not gonna have a problem with that. So I'm hoping that I can get all 4 of these books finished and still have time to read other books this month. Yeah, it seems ridiculous. Now that I'm actually looking at it, no, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this because these books read fast. I can do this. Okay, so for my audiobook that I just picked up, I haven't quite started it yet, but I finished Amityville Horror last night, so I'm picking up my next audiobook, and that's going to be Yerba Buena by Nina LaCour, and I picked this one up because it's the Shelf This Book Club book choice for November. And I haven't ever read with this book club before, but I am actually participating as a co-host in January with Bailey from Is Bailey Reading. This is the book club that she hosts. And I am really excited to join in January, and I kind of thought it'd be fun if I had the opportunity to participate in other books for the other months. So Yerba Buena is their November book, and I am kind of interested in this one. I had picked up the physical book from the library and I never got around to picking it up. So I thought, oh, maybe audiobook would be a good choice. So I'm picking up the audiobook. We'll see if I like it. Let's hope I do, because then that's like an 8-hour audiobook. I can listen to that and then I can participate in the Shelf This Book Club book discussion. So I will link down below everything you need to know about that book club, including Bailey's channel information, and go check it out. Come join us, and definitely come join us in January because we're gonna be reading an amazing book, and I'll put the announcement video down below as well. So now Kim from Expedition Through Pages and I are actively sort of buddy reading Anna Karenina. I have a 2-volume set and we're still on the first book, and honestly both of us have had a lot of things going on. Kim's been very busy, I've been very busy, and we have been reading little bits here and there, but we haven't made it nearly as far as we'd hoped to. I'm currently on page 170. We're both invested in finishing this book, and we really like talking to each other about books, so we will work on this. It's just that I know that she's busy, she knows that I'm busy, and it's actually working out really well, this buddy read, because we're both just taking our time and not having much pressure about it, so it feels really good. And another buddy read I'm doing this month, which I'm really excited about, and this is a book I've been wanting to read for a very long time, and I've put it on several TBRs. I'm reading The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern with Paige from Paige with Paige, Natalie from Nat Cat's Bookish Cafe, and Danielle from Bookars. So we have a great little group coming together to read The Night Circus, and we actually have like a 2-week period that we're planning on reading it, and we've sectioned it out into sections. So I am nervous because it is definitely a good-sized book. I've heard such mixed things about this book, but I am excited. It's a great buddy read group that we've got going, and I can't wait to try it out. I can't wait to see how I like it. And finally, for some non-hefty books, the Magic Treehouse read-along that I'm doing with Martine from Just Martine and Kayla from Kayla Ray Reads. We are reading the next 4 books in the series. We're getting along really quickly in this series. For the month of November, we are reading the 13th book, which is Vacation Under the Volcano. And then we've got Day of the Dragon King, which is the 14th book. Then we have Viking Ships at Sunrise, which I don't have quite yet. That'll be coming in soon. And finally, The Hour of the Olympians, which is the 16th book in the series. So yeah, there's like 30-something books in the series. I'm already almost halfway through. Feels good to be getting through one series very quickly. So yeah, this seems ridiculous, I know, but like I said, this whole video is kind of a pile of possibilities. Like, I'm gonna make these books happen. If I don't get to all the Infernal Devices books, like if I don't finish Clockwork Prince right away, or I don't finish Clockwork Princess, not a big deal, as long as I make sure I finish the Mortal Instruments books. Editing Amy here, and I had completely forgotten to introduce Knock It Out November. I just went straight into my goals. So here I am to introduce this readathon that I'm doing. So this is being hosted by Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy, and I really enjoy her channel. She's got a wonderful personality, she has a fun TBR game, and she does a lot of great recommendations for high fantasy and then a lot of indie fantasy and indie sci-fi. So go check out her channel. I will link everything you need to know in the description box down below. And I decided to just do 5 goals for this because they're goals that I have for the month that pertain to a lot of goals that I have for the full year. So my first goal, my very first goal, is to complete 3 books that I have started and not finished. There's a lot of options for that. So one of the options is if I can finish this book, this Anna Karenina, this particular volume, and mind you, when I actually sit down and read this, this is kind of like the whole Mortal Instruments series, that when I sit down and I actually spend time reading it, I get through these pretty quickly because the writing is very easy to get into and it's pretty large text. So if I could get through this particular volume, it doesn't have to be the whole book. I'm not gonna count the whole book. I'm gonna say if I can get through volume 1 of Anna Karenina, this will count as one book that I have started and not finished. I also have The Witches of Willow Cove because yes, I did read 100 pages of this before the end of October. And so I am exactly 100 pages in. And this is a middle grade book and it reads pretty quickly. So I could get through this one really easily, probably in a day or a day and a half if I was focusing on reading it. So if I want a little more witchy vibes, if I want to continue this book, this is another one that I could work on and finish during this month. Now, I've started this book and I'm not gonna finish it this month, but I could work on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I do plan on working on this one a little bit here and there over time. I still want to do my big Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell vlog. This could even be one that I'm reading behind the scenes and just taking a lot longer to read it. I'm okay with that. And so I won't be able to use this one for this prompt, but I do just wanted to point out that I do plan on reading this one, even if it takes me a lot longer. Another one that I started and I was loving and I haven't continued reading and I really want to finish this one is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuznier. And this one is great because we're coming into December, so it's got those dark vibes of the fall and the dark weather we're getting, but it also has the winter vibes and the Nutcracker vibes. So I'm currently on page 64 of this, not as far in as I thought I was, but I do want to finish this one and I would like to go back to the library at some point. So gosh, I really do want to read this one. So I may make this one that I end up reading a little bit of here and there and try to get through it. Another one that I'm ashamed to say I did not finish. So we were doing a buddy read of this and luckily Sierra's already read it before. Paige finished it and she was able to get it done and nobody's waiting on me to finish this book. But I was enjoying this book a lot and that's All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Dewar. I am about halfway through. Yeah, 254 pages of this and I was loving this book. It just got overwhelming at the time because we were trying to keep up with the buddy read and everything had gotten really busy when I was reading it. So I did put it down, unfortunately, and I would like to pick it up again and finish it. I was really loving the historical fiction element of this. I haven't read a historical fiction like this in a long time, and the perspectives from the characters was really cool. Anthony Dewar's writing style is, I really like it. It's fantastic. So I would like to try and pick this up and finish it. It's a possibility, you know, it's a possibility. I also started Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer, and I'm only 100 pages into this one. You know, this one, I didn't feel bad that I haven't continued it because this is like a short story essay collection. So if I read another short story of this, that would be great. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on myself for this one because I was loving it so much that I don't wanna rush through this one. And the way it reads, you don't have to rush through it. So this is still there though. I still want to read this one. So Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Wall Kimmerer. Then I've got Reflection by Elizabeth Lim. I don't have the cover right now, but this one is the retelling of Mulan. And I'm currently on page 62. And I mean, it's YA fantasy and it's got really big writing. Like, it shouldn't take me too long to get to this one. It's been on many TBRs, and this is actually a special one, and I'll talk about this one in a little bit. I do want to finish this. Then we've got The Threat by Andrew McCabe, which I was making really good progress on. Well, I guess I made 100 pages on it. So. And I need to finish this one as well. So there's a lot that I have not, and this one, as well as Braiding Sweetgrass, would work really well for Nonfiction November. So I mean, I've got some nonfictions here that I would like to continue. And then finally, The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. I started this one. I was enjoying this as well because I really do like Gothic novels. And I made it to page 100. Oh, you can tell that these are all TBR books because I make it to 100 so I don't have to take a punishment and then I end up putting them down. Not that I don't want to read them, just I get busy with other books. So The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. I would like to read this one. This one was feeling perfect for the season, so would be nice to be able to pick this one back up again. As far as books that I started and did not complete, I need to finish 3. I have so many options of books that I need to finish, and I can do it. I can do 3 books this month that I'm completing that I've already started. The other thing I really want to do, my second goal, is to finish that secret TBR video that I have hinted at for a very long time now and have not ever finished. So that means doing 2 book reviews, because I have finished 2 other books that were part of this secret TBR that I've never actually just reviewed, like sat down and reviewed them. And part of me is like, do I have to reread them? Because I don't know if I remember. I think I can remember well enough, but I do need to do those book reviews so that that'll be ready for my secret TBR when I'm finished with it. And so then the books that I need to read to finish this TBR, this secret TBR, are Reflection by Elizabeth Lim, one that I've already started and haven't completed. Also The Threat by Andrew McCabe, one that I'm 100 pages into, haven't finished. But yes, this one wouldn't take quite as long to finish. And then one that I've been wanting to read for a very long time and haven't been able to. It's been on quite a few TBRs, and that's Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. This is the 3rd book in the Crazy Rich Asian series, and it's one of my favorite series. Haven't been able to read the 3rd book, but I need to read it for that secret TBR. So if I could get those 3 books done, I could get that secret TBR video edited, done, and put out. I started working on it well over a year ago, so it would be nice. All the old film footage is probably super outdated. So goal number 2, finish or work towards that secret TBR, which means doing those 2 book reviews. All I have to do is sit in front of the camera and review those 2 books, and then try and make a good dent out of these 3 books. Maybe finish The Threat, because look, I'm almost halfway there. And that would also work for my complete 3 books I have started. If I finished Reflection and The Threat, those would be 2 of the 3 that I need to finish this month that I've started. I mean, it's okay to double up for these. The 3rd goal is to read 3 of my 5-star prediction books, and that now seems like a lot. But one of my 5-star prediction books is A Night Circus, a book I'm already reading this month. Another one of my 5-star prediction books is Anna Karenina, a book I'm also already reading this month. Then that leaves another 5-star prediction to try and read. And I was looking at the options that I have still available. One I'm planning on hopefully doing next month. The other one seems like it might be a little too complex of a read for November, a little too much for me to handle at the moment. So I have 2 remaining actually that I think are possibilities. And I think that I could get through these pretty quickly. So one of the possibilities is The Guest List by Lucy Foley, because thrillers are fast paced, and a lot of times when you get into them, you're like, and this is not a very long book. It's like 300 pages. So this is a possibility. If I'm feeling like I need something dark and scary to read, I could try and read this one. And this is one of my 5-star predictions. And then I've also got Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. Definitely a longer book, but it is like a fast-paced sci-fi, and it's YA. So YA often, just like with all these Infernal Devices and Mortal Instruments, they tend to read very quick for me, or quicker than other books. So that's a possibility. More likely, because this one's shorter, this would be what I would go for if I could. And that's a goal. It's a goal. If I could read 3 of my 5-star predictions, that would be great, because I'll have to review them in February. That's coming up, and I still have like 5 5-star prediction books I haven't read, or maybe 6. So a lot. Actually, I have more than that. So if you want to know what my 5-star predictions are, I will link that video up here and down in the description box below, so you can see what books I think will be 5 stars for me and why I think that. My 4th goal for the month is to try and do another Try a Chapter in a Coffee video. I have the books I want to read sitting next to me, the ones I want to try out, and I want to go to a coffee shop and sit there and do another one of these videos. I loved doing it the last time. It's just a matter of taking the time. It doesn't take very long, taking a few hours, going to a coffee shop, sitting there and trying out these books, trying a chapter of them, and then deciding which ones I want to keep and which ones I don't. So if you haven't seen my first Try a Chapter in a Coffee, I will link it up here so you can check that out. And you should. It's a lot of fun. I had a great time doing it, and I want to do it again. I have another genre to try out this time. And finally, my 5th goal. I know this seems ridiculous, but my 5th goal is not a book goal. And that helps, because these goals already seem a little constricting. I think we'll be okay. But this 5th goal has to do with the goal I originally set this year to do 1 reading sprints a month. I kind of fell off of that in July, and I do actually have reading sprints on my channel this month for Bookstara, but I wanted these to be reading sprints or productivity sprints that were separate from my obligation to the read-along. So I am trying to make up for the lost time for the reading sprints that I did not do. The first one's gonna happen this Sunday, actually. It's gonna happen on November 6th. I'm gonna have Shell on my channel with me because it's her birthday that day and I just wanna spend time with her. She lives far away, so we don't get to spend that much time together. And I thought, what a fun way to spend time with her and spend time with you on Sunday by doing productivity sprints. So I usually have a lot of homework to do on Sundays because that's when my math is due. So I may read or I may do productivity sprints, but come bring a project with you, bring a book with you, and come sprint with us. We would love to have you. We'd love to chat with you. Yeah, and we can just wish my friend happy birthday. I haven't decided yet when my other sprints are going to be. They will probably be a little more impromptu because of how the month goes. When will I have time to do them? They may be during the week. They may be some other time, but I'm planning on doing 2 sprints outside of Bookstara sprints. And that's it for my read-along goals. Yes, it seems like a lot, but these are all possibilities for me, and I'm not holding myself to any of these in any way that will make me feel overwhelmed or like I'm not going to enjoy my month reading. So fingers crossed that I just have a good time. I want to have a good time. I want to have a good November, and I want to feel prepared for December because December is going to be a lot more structured. So even if I don't have a lot going on in November, stick around for December because December is going to be a blast. And I will be done with school after the first week of December, which is nice. School does take a lot of my time and it keeps me very busy. It keeps my focus off of other things that I would like to do. So I can't wait for the holiday break. I plan on being very Christmassy this year. Even though I'm not going to be playing my game this month, I am going to be doing a viewer prompt. So if you would like to play along, I don't want to stop you guys from playing your game of Bookish Life. So I'm going to add the clip here of your prompt. Last time you were on TBR game, and you've been on this twice now, so you're moving forward no matter what, because you can only get stuck there once. So let's see where you're going to move with your spin. Five spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cover color spins. The way this one works is I'm going to spin the wheel, and whatever color it lands on is going to be a color that the book cover has to be predominantly. So I mean, like, it can't just be one little spot of that color. It needs to be predominantly that color. It doesn't have to be the whole cover color, but like, it's got to have a substantial amount on there. So let's give the spinner wheel a spin. And the color is regular red, so like fire engine red. And let's see if I can show that to you. Yeah, it's hard to see because my lighting is terrible today because of the rain, but this is a dark red. This is like a regular fire engine red color. So any book that has predominantly red on it is going to be the book you're going to pick. And that's a really fun prompt. It really is just, you know, very simple. All you have to do is pick a book that has bright red on the cover. And I can't wait to hear what you pick. Maybe you'll pick something that is kind of moving into the Christmassy spirit and it has like red on the cover because it has like Santa or something on the cover. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below what you ended up picking for this prompt. So I will be playing Magda's game this month, and if you'd like to see more gameplay of the Game of Bookish Life, stick around and watch what spins she gets and see what book she ends up choosing. And let me know in the month of November, what is the book you are most excited to read? What book are you just like, I cannot wait to read this book? I don't know what mine is. I don't know that I have one. I want to read all these books. I just want to be able to read all these books. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Sorry it was a little chaotic, but maybe other people want to see the chaos, so give it a thumbs up. And subscribe so you can see what happens in November, see if I actually get any Sunday sum ups this month, see if I actually make any other videos. Let's hope I do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later. Bye. Okay, so at the moment, Magda's tallies are looking okay. She's got 3 tallies on 5, 7, 9, and 10. And then 2 tallies each on 2 and 3. And all the rest are cleared out. So Magda's probably gonna have a fairly decent month. Not too many extra rolls. Haha, famous last words. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so she also ended up on TBR game last time around, but she does have the possibility of getting stuck here if I land on a 1 or a 10. So fingers crossed we don't land there and she can just move forward in her game. Let's see, we're gonna go for spin number 1. 9, that was very close. Okay, let's see if this is still on the camera. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, it's not. Let's move you forward. 8, 9. So this is a spinner wheel spot, and it is diversity rep. So I'm going to spin the wheel again, and whatever color we land on will correspond with one of the colors on this chart for diversity rep. So let's see. We're getting a 7. That's a dark blue. Dark blue is Europe, Australian rep. So it needs to have some type of European or Australian rep in the book, or it has to be written by an author from somewhere in Europe or somewhere in Australia, or it needs to be set in one of those locations. So that is the diversity rep for this one. All right, so let's see where she's gonna go with spin number 2. 7, of course, because that's what I had it on. And that gives us another tally on number 7, so she's in trouble with 7 as well. My goodness. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have to spin to see which direction she's going to go. So either she's going to go 1 to 5 to go to the left, or 6 to 10 to go to the right. And I'll just keep it back on the one it originally was on, so we don't forget that. And spin to see which direction. I'm just going to keep hitting the same number, aren't I? Okay, well, 6 to 10, we're going to be going to the right. So let's go 7 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What are they reading? Oh, Magda. One of my favorite prompts. I have a pot here with a whole bunch of booktubers, and when we land on the what are they reading prompt, we pick one of the booktubers, then you have to pick a book that they have absolutely loved, at least given a 5 stars or something along those lines too. So one of their favorite books. What are they reading? I usually do this by going to one of their best of videos, so like one of the books that they have absolutely loved over the time they've been reading, or maybe even in the past year. And for this, I will probably help Magda out by going to that booktuber's channel, looking for their favorite books and seeing if there's anything that's on her want to read list that the booktuber loved. Okay, so let's see who we're gonna be looking at. I'll pull one from right here. Oh, that's more than one, that's 3. Covers with Cassidy. Okay, perfect. That's actually really fun because I'm doing Out November, which is Cassidy's own readathon, and we'll be picking one of Cassidy's favorite books for Magda. Perfect, that sounds great. I love this. Okay, so let's see what Covers with Cassidy has, some of her favorites. Okay, let's see, what do my favorite books have in common? Ooh, current top 5 favorite books of all time. Okay, let's look at this one. So one option is The Poppy War. I don't know if Magda's read The Poppy War.
I don't know, she might have.
Mm-hmm. Magda has not read The Poppy War, so that's a possibility. So Magda, you could read The Poppy War. Okay, so Poppy War was actually the only one, Magda, that was on your Goodreads want to read for whatever reason list. There were a few other books in there that I thought might be interesting, and if you would like to check out the rest of Cassidy's video, I'm going to link it in the description box down below, because I don't want to give away all of Cassidy's favorites on my video. I want other people to have the chance to discover them. So I will link that video down below. Go check it out. And there were quite a few, I think there were 3 on there, Magda, that you'd already read and rated. So there are some other options, but Poppy War is the one that, if you're able to get a hold of it, Magda, that is the one that I'm recommending for you. Let's start moving forward again with spin number 3. Oh, shoot. Magda, I did speak too soon. That's your 5th time landing on 9. So you are getting a 6th prompt. Well, let's see where you're gonna go with 9 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Another diversity spin. So let's see what color you're gonna end up with. I'm gonna spin the spinner wheel. And you've got 9 again, of course, but it doesn't matter here. So it's the darker green color, and that is LGBTQIA plus representation. So any book that has some form of LGBTQIA plus representation is what you're gonna read, Magda. Let's see where she's gonna go for spin number 4. 3. Okay, let's see. Magda just moves around so quickly that I have to keep moving my camera around. 1, 2, 3. And we're doing a genre spin, so basically the same thing. Whatever color I land on will correspond to one of the genres on here, and that is the genre that Magda will have to read. So let's see, we're going with our genre spin. 8. Blue. That is romance, Magda. You get to read a romance. Okay, so now let's go with spin number 5. 2. 1, 2. 2021 award winner. So it needs to be a book that won an award, some kind of award in 2021. So that could obviously be a Goodreads award. It could be the Hugo Award. It could be the Booker Choice Award. It could be the Bram Stoker Award, which is what I did last time. So it could be anything that won an award in the year 2021. All right, Magda, what I imagine is going to be your final spin. Spin number 6. Ooh, that was really close. You almost had another spin there, Magda. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Another genre wheel. Wow, Magda, that's all you're getting this time around. Let's see what genre you're going to be reading. So that is dark red, and dark red is over here. It's adult sci-fi. So any adult sci-fi that you want to read, Magda, that's what you're going to be reading this month. Okay, perfect. That gives you quite a bit of leniency this month with all the spinner wheels. You've got a couple of little more tricky ones, but not so bad.